exact topic that we actually debated on this show earlier in the week. I mean, look, leading up to the Super Bowl, people are going to have a lot of the same kind of takes leading up.
I want to hear it again.
We literally debated this topic, and I will tell you why not. It will be very difficult, yes, because if Brady beats him, no matter what Mahomes does, people are going to say it's unlikely he gets to 10 Super Bowls and wins 7. Mm-hmm. And people are going to say when Brady was 112 years old, he beat Mahomes in his prime, and he's got more Super Bowl wins. Tough, right? But not impossible. For example, let me give you an unlikely scenario, but not a crazy one. What if they met again in the Super Bowl next year and Mahomes won? Like, what about that? What if there was a rematch? Brady still looked really good this year. He wants to play till he's 45. The Bucs are loaded, and we expect the Chiefs to get out of the AFC every year.
My mind can't go there yet.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, there's a scenario where here's another thing. Let's talk about the pace that they're on. Patrick Mahomes has been in the league for 3 seasons as a starter. 3. He's 25 years old. He has been to 3 AFC championship games. This will be 2 Super Bowls, and he's won a Super Bowl, even if he loses to Brady.
Yeah.
He's also won an MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. He's 25. He's also putting up numbers that we've never seen before to start a career. Kind of in any sport. He's putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers. Like, oh my God, he's doing, what's his completion percentage? What's his QBR? How many touchdowns? How many interceptions? How many wins? Do you realize in Patrick Mahomes' last 26 starts, they're 25-1 against the NFL? It's insane. They don't even have a good. Do the Chiefs have a great defense? No. So, given the pace Mahomes is on, even if he wins half the number of, so if he wins, let's say, 4 Super Bowls by the end of his career and loses to Brady, but beats him in a rematch, let's say, and we look at his career and say, yes, Brady is the GOAT in terms of career value, the way Kareem or maybe LeBron is by this point, right? But who do we actually call the GOAT in the NBA? Most people, Jordan, because his peak was long enough that, like, his career was long enough at his peak that he qualifies, and the peak was just the highest. So we may one day look, even if he loses this Super Bowl, and say, man, he got to and won enough Super Bowls, especially if he ever gets Brady in a rematch where he loses this one. He got him back, and we all saw it with our own eyes. No one was ever as good as Mahomes. That would be, I admit, it's a big mountain to climb, but he could do it.
No, he can't. If he loses the Super Bowl to Tom Brady, he will never, ever. Tom Brady is 43 years of age. And I'm going to use this analogy to you. And it's a bad one, I'll admit it. But I think I'm using a boxing analogy just to get Max to where I'm going. Do you remember when Costa Zoo fought Zab Judah?
Sure do.
You remember when Zab was talking, and he fought Costa Zoo, and Costa Zoo caught him. You know, Zab was trying to dip, got caught with the right hand, went down. Molly and got up like this, and his legs were shaking and went and fell back down. I still think the referee shouldn't have stopped the fight. He should have let it go.
Agreed.
You understand? But nevertheless,
Stephen A., that fight was over.
I understand that. Yeah. I understand that, but he still let it.
I agree with you.
Because he let him go because he still had.
He got up. He wanted to fight.
He got up. He wanted to fight. So let him fight. Here's the point. Why do I bring that up in an analogy like this? Because everybody said rematch. Costa Zoo said no. You said winner take all. Winner gets everything. Because he thought he was going to win.
Yeah.
He said now. In other words, to punish him, he said, I ain't giving you another shot.
Yeah, do that in the NFL.
Live with this, right? What if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl?
Could retire.
And says, I'm done.
That's going to be tough.
I'm done. You know what? I beat Patrick Mahomes.
On a high note.
I beat the modern day GOAT, you're right, according to y'all, at age 43 in my first year with a new team. It's a wrap. I thought I would come back. Giselle, baby, all the kids, we did what we came to do. You understand? It's a wrap. Can't end any better. Not only do I go out a champion, I knocked off Patrick Mahomes
in his
and
prime.
The offensive juggernaut that is the Kansas City Chiefs. Not just Patrick Mahomes' prime, Travis Kelce's prime, Tyreek Hill's prime. I took them out.
And he'd have 7 rings.
And I said, yeah, we
even if
know that.
Brady
and MJ has 6 rings.
Even if Brady didn't play well,
but what
people wouldn't remember.
But what I'm saying is, if he sat up there and won the game, and then said, "I'm done."
Yeah.
Now see where he could tarnish it. If Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, even if he beats Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes still looks like Patrick Mahomes, and Tom Brady comes back next year looking like Peyton Manning did in his last year, that could ruin it. But if Tom Brady won, played well doing so, and then said, I'm done. There's no more for me to do. I don't think Patrick Mahomes could overcome that, because no matter what, even if you're 1-7, which I don't believe will happen, even if you won 7, you still lost to him, not once, but twice in the postseason. Your only postseason losses of your career. One was in the AFC Championship game. Another was in the Super Bowl because he went to the conference. It was when he was 43. Years of age. It's his 7th ring, and he beat you, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce in his prime. Patrick Mahomes is phenomenal. You can't eclipse that.
Well,
I'll say
this.
Can't do it.
If Tony Romo had said, this is what you're saying it is possible.
I don't mean to put business out there in terms of the industry, but if Peyton Manning wanted to be in the booth, I don't care what network you point to, you talking about a minimum. If Tony Romo getting 17, you talking about Peyton Manning getting a minimum of 20. Peyton Manning has how many rings?
2.
Yeah.
So the 7-time champion that looks like a damn model with those Tom Ford suits, that's married to a supermodel, that ends his career at age 43, if he were to do that, who's getting $25 million a year now to play football for the next 2 years, has a chance to retire to make $20 million a year at least in the booth without getting touched? That could do it for the next decade?
I don't think he would do it. I think Tom Brady's got his mind on this. I think Tom Brady wants to make $1 billion with TB12.
Guess what? Send me the supplements. Don't tell me they don't work now, Max. I don't care what you think they are.
Actually, matter of fact,
all the TB12 supplements, I'll never eat a shade vegetable again.
TB12 tweeted at me and offered me a training session with Guerrero.
I want it. Send me the training session and the supplements.
Hold on, y'all. Let me ask you a question. How is retiring from football but being in the booth hurts TB12, particularly if he goes out a champion?
I would say this about that.
It didn't hurt the Jordan brand.
No, well, except that Jordan never went to the booth. Kobe never went to the booth. There are some guys, Jeter didn't go to the booth.
Those guys, big to go.
A-Rod went, and you could see Peyton there, but the dudes who are the pristine champion brands, like you think them, all you think is champion, they're looking at owning the team. Jeter owns the team. Yeah. Jordan owns the team. I always believed, that Kobe was going to own the Lakers.
Yeah, but there's nothing,
I don't see Brady in the booth.
Prohibiting him from eventually helping to own a team. Just because you go in the booth, you can always listen. John Gruden was in the booth. He won 1 Super Bowl title. He missed the playoffs 4 of his 6 years in Tampa, disappeared from coaching football for 10 years, went to the booth and came back and got a $100 million deal with incentives that drive the contract up to $118 million. Do you have any idea how much money Tom Brady can make? I'm talking about aside from TB12. So let's take TB12 into consideration. You have any idea? And then you got the supermodel wife that's sitting there going like this, honey, we followed your way for quite some time. We have obliged.
Is this the love doctor talking now?
We have obliged. Remember, he was interviewed.
It's a lot of sacrifice
and he started talking about how, remember when he revealed that, guess what? Being a dad, my wife said I wasn't doing my part.
Yeah. What you're saying is there is some upside for Brady to keep playing if he wins the Super Bowl. But there's also downside, whereas there's no downside if he retires and if he wins the Super Bowl.
0.
That's also a good argument. He said he's going to play till he's 45, and I believe him.
I forgot about that. I'm just focused on getting those supplements. Not training, whatever I need to do to stay young. All right, we'll leave it there. When we come back, before this, we got a huge week ahead as we count down to Super Bowl 55 in Tampa. Next week, Christian McCaffrey, Devontae Smith, Jared Allen, Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Stephon Diggs, Nick Chubb will all join the show. Plus a huge